And so the name Alcam, came up. It means music with a purpose.
Did you give it that meaning, or does it mean that in a different language?
Now it used to be all ladies chill in my place.
We finally made it, man for the take it. Book of my life and I never could fake it. Straight to the top and you gotta embrace it. It is what it is.
Today we are with Alcam, a rapper from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, I'm Alcam. I'm from St. Louis. I'm from the west side of St. Louis. I do hip hop, rap. I'm a music artist. You name it. Been back in the game for a little over a year and a half now. And just been enjoying the ride so far, just dropping new content as often as I possibly can, singles after singles. So make sure y'all check that out.
Yeah, speaking of singles, I wanted to just, go right into talking about some of your songs. For example, Never Forget. It has the most views on your YouTube. And you can just go into detail on, what inspired you to write that song. And is that, like one of the songs that keeps you going because it has like 200,000 views on YouTube. And that's a lot. And that's in the midst of 3 to 4 months.
Yeah, so Never Forget, that was a song I wrote pretty much like in the middle of the pandemic. A lot been going on with the whole COVID situation. And so I was basically getting back into music. I was in music probably for 3 months when the pandemic hit. And I was already getting booked for shows. And then all of that kind of shut down. So I pretty much like went into a depressed mode in a sense because I was just getting back out there. And this was like, my time to really put some things together and, take my music in front of a larger audience. So I pretty much had like kind of stopped putting music out. Like I was still recording. And it was one point where I wasn't even going to the studio for real. And so I would say about August, one of my partners hit me up. I went to the studio and I just started freestyling. And that pretty much birthed my Freestyle Friday segment. I did like 8 freestyles in 8 weeks. I dropped them on my Instagram. But that same day when I started doing that freestyling and we recorded, I started working on Never Forget. And basically just everything that was going on through the pandemic, everything that had just happened as far as with my music and how I'm just getting back started, that pretty much all inspired me to write that song. And it kept me going because it is my biggest song to date. The video got like a couple 100,000 views, but the actual single, the visualizer, got like 700,000 views. So that was one of the songs that went kind of crazy. We did a big campaign in Atlanta with the Coalition DJs, and it just went kind of crazy.
And I wanted to continue and have you talk about like when you started rapping and, kind of like, the foundation of like you being a rapper and, if you being from Missouri has like anything to do with that.
Yeah, so I started doing music young. It started out just having fun. And I probably would say I was like in high school and we would do rap battles and go around and, freestyle with different people and try to compete in that way. And it was just fun. As I got a little bit older, I started to take it serious. People around me was trying to get me to take it serious. And that's what I did. And that led me to signing my first record deal in 2012. And that was a crazy ride. I had a lot going on back then, and this is pre-streaming. I remember handing out physical CDs every city I went to, Chicago, KC, Nashville, Memphis, just on like a little tour, just basically networking and marketing. And I was getting ready to do a 45 city tour, but I ended up having a bad knee injury I tore my meniscus playing basketball, so that kind of set me back. But then I had the label deal, and so that was pretty dope. And everything kind of fell apart with that. So at that moment, I had kind of walked away from music. As a creative, you don't never stop creating. I don't care what's going on. I don't care if you jotting it down in your notebook or whether you actually get in the studio recording. And I was still recording songs. I was still writing songs. I just really wasn't putting nothing out. And it really kind of took the fun away, with that deal that I did. And so I was okay with, I'm like, it is what it is. And out of nowhere, the EP that I released in 2012 that led to my record deal, a fight company, an MMA company overseas used my song for their fight trailer. And they got like 2 million views in like 30 days. And from that, I started getting a lot of hits on my Spotify, my SoundCloud. And I was like, this is an opportunity. I can either just let it pass or I can jump back out there and start doing music again. And that's what I did. And that's when I dropped Tina Turner. That's when I dropped Autopilot. I dropped Public Enemy after that. And then the pandemic hit. And then I dropped Never Forget. And then I just released Get Big. So I feel like every release been getting bigger and bigger and better and better. And yeah, I'm just, excited for everybody to see this journey and how it all play out.
And that's how you want it to be. I feel like if each release isn't better than the last release, then you're not really moving forward. And also those sync placements, like those are the ways that a lot of artists get a lot of clout. Like when it's like that one company or that one show or that one entity that uses one song, that's how a lot of artists get a lot of traffic with their music. And I know like for some of my songs, like I've been wanting to get sync placements, but I literally like just graduated. So I was really focused on school for a while. So now I can focus more on music, but that's really cool. What country was it that
it was a country in Poland. So like a whole country out to my sound, like it's crazy.
That's really cool. I saw a lot of people from Africa commenting under your music video. So I thought that was interesting. I think like a lot of people that start off in America are just like Americans in general, like people just have like this one track mind of like keeping it in the United States. But, like there's like a whole globe out there that you can advertise your music to. And sometimes I feel like, as artists, like maybe we don't even think about that. Like we don't even think about like, oh, these people in Egypt or people in the UK may really love your music, but we're just trying to focus on get our music out to our own country or our own state. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, well, up to that, not to cut you off, when I dropped my first EP, I really wasn't doing no promotion, but I could see the stats of where my streams was coming from. And they was coming from Germany, Great Britain, Jamaica, Africa, Europe, of course, America. And that blew me away. And I'm like, how they hear about me? How they know about me? China, Japan. I mean, people from everywhere was streaming the songs. And that made me realize it's a whole nother world over there. And they deserve to hear what I got to say too. And that's how I get there.
Period. So like, how would you define yourself as a rapper? Like, cause you know how like on Twitter, it's always, people are always like pinning rappers together, like Drake and J. Cole. Like, what spectrum of rap would you like put yourself on? Like, would you call it like conscious rap, hype beast rap, like singing rap?
Yeah, so it's crazy because I really can't describe it because it's a multitude of things. My message is my message, right? So I'm a conscious individual, so my message will be conscious. However, where I come from, my background, the things I deal with in life, I'm a very musical person, so I will have harmony. So it's a multitude of things. It's really hard to categorize it and put it in one box.
Is there
Because,
anything that influences your sound?
yeah, I would say hip hop as a whole. Like I would listen to like a dope R&B record from Chris Brown, and then listen to something from old school, like the Commodores or one of those old groups, that your parents put on the records and be vibing out to. And I love that as well. And then I listen to an old Tupac record or Biggie record and love that. And then I listen to something new that's popping today. And I love that. So I feel like because I just love music, I feel like music as a whole influences my sound. Like I tell people all the time, I'm influenced. People who say they're not influenced by other artists, that's a lie. Like you can't help but to be influenced by what's going on out here. And so because of that, because of my listening ear, when I hear a good song, it automatically influences me. So it's really hard to say one song or one artist or one person, because you could put out a record and I could be like, man, her vocals crazy. And that can influence me. It's a new artist coming up called Fouché. Man, her sound is crazy. And
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about. It's like Foushe.
Yeah, Fouché, like she crazy. And I love the music. You see what I'm saying? So it's really hard to say. Like I do rap, I do hip hop, whatever you want to call it. But I'm influenced by music, period, which is why you will hear me, go bar for bar, be like like I say, the craziest rapper alive on one song. And then on another song, I'm just chill talking to the ladies and vibing to the music. It's all about feels with me. Once we get past the content, me being honest about who I am as a person and reflecting that through my music, everything else is about the vibe and the feel. So.
Is there like a favorite song you have that you've produced? Like what's your favorite song that you've made?
It keep changing. It's crazy because Never Forget was probably my favorite song. And now I got 3 new favorites that ain't even released yet, that I'm looking to release in the near future. I got a new song that I'm getting ready to release, my next single. That's like top on my list. It's crazy because once you create something dope, then you create something new. And all the times you ain't gonna create something better every time, but when you do, it's like, yo, this the one right here. So my favorite song of myself just keeps changing. I would say probably the song that I would say I'm most proud of is a song that's not released yet. And it's just real life. It's a real life storytelling type of song. Yeah. It's a real life storytelling type of song. And I believe it's gonna help somebody in a very positive way. So, I mean, I make songs about a lot of different things. One minute I may feel like turning up, the next minute I may feel like vibing. And that's when I'm gonna create in the studio. So I don't have like a one favorite song. I don't think.
Where do you want to see your brand go in the next 5 years?
We're taking this global. I could be more specific. I just want to be an example for those coming behind me, that you don't gotta wait on nobody. You don't gotta wait for a handout. You can figure this thing out yourself. And I want to do it in a way where I ain't compromising who I am as a person. I think a lot of times we get lost in the music, and a lot of people just want to mimic their favorite artist, but that's not your story. So I feel like you got to mimic your story. You got to be you. You got to walk in your shoes, and you can have your favorite artist, but y'all not the same. And I want to be an example to that. I want my brand to be an example to that. I want my brand to be a brand that represents hope, that represents change for the good. I want to be a brand that represents uniting the people. I want to be a brand that gives back to my community and help build those around me. And I want to be a brand that when you're ready to turn up and get lit, you know we're gonna take it there too. So I like to have fun. It ain't all about being serious, but I like to have fun. I like to enjoy life. But I also like to live with a purpose. And so I want my brand to represent that.
I like that a lot. I really do. Is there anyone that you'd love to collaborate with, or do you have any collaborations approaching that you'd like to share with the fans?
It's so crazy. I've been so locked in on, getting my sound across. I don't have nobody that I would want to collaborate with right now. But you never know, things could change. Things can change. Like, it's a lot of dope people out there, a lot of dope new artists, a lot of dope female artists. Like, I'm inspired by what the women are doing in hip hop right now. Like, let me just say,
Love to hear it.
yeah, like, I'm inspired because, we come from an era where women don't really have a voice in hip hop. And it's always maybe one or two dope young ladies coming through. And now it's just so many. And I ain't mad at them because they live in their truth. You know what I mean? I may not go to the strip clubs other than to promote my record and do stuff like that. But if that's what you do, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm inspired. I'm looking forward to seeing some more young conscious women come through, and speak their truth. I'm looking forward to seeing new alternative type of R&B like what Fouché is doing. She finna carve out a whole new lane.
She's
so
really dope.
yeah,
I know what song you're probably referring to too, because her single AF is like really big right now.
yeah.
And that's the kind of music that I listen to, because that's kind of the kind of music that I make. So I like listening to people like her.
That's dope. Yeah, so I don't have like one person that I work with, but I'm open to work with anybody. You know what I mean? If it's right, if the sound is right. I'm a fan of a lot of artists. Like, a lot of the stuff that's coming out in Atlanta, I'm a fan of. Of course, New York, Chicago.
Are you in Atlanta right now?
No, I'm in St. Louis.
Okay. Do you plan to move for your brand anytime soon?
It's nothing that's in a plan right now. I don't foresee it in the near future, but you never know. If an opportunity comes and that's what I need to do, then that's what I'm doing. So I ain't shut off to it, but I don't see, because I travel so much, I don't see that happening no time soon. But right now, I'm rooted right where I'm at in St. Louis. So.
Okay, cool. Can you tell us what inspired your artist name?
Alcam. It means music with a purpose. When I was young and I was wild and living life the way I was living, coming from the west side of St. Louis, my music reflected that. And as I matured as a man, I needed an honest representation of who I am in my music. It's hard for me to say, certain things when I know I ain't living like that. Now, I could talk about it retrospectively. I could talk about it in retrospect, respectfully to the things that I've went through, but to talk about it and promote it as if that's something I'm currently doing, to me, that's kind of not something I want to do and not something I want to represent. And so the name Alcam, came up. It means music with a purpose.
Did you give it that meaning, or does it mean that in a different language?
Now it used to be all ladies chill in my place. I'm joking.
That's so funny. I mean, if it was, I wouldn't judge you.
No, I'm joking. So So it's an acronym, and that's what it means, music with a purpose.
Oh, I peep it now. Okay, cool. I like that. It took me a second. um, this might be a weird question, but how many albums do you think that you'll produce in a lifetime?
Oh, I ain't done. Like, I won't never stop producing music. I
Do
don't
you
think
think you could probably produce like more albums than Michael Jackson?
what do you got, like 10?
He has a lot. And then the songs on there are like 6 minutes long. Sometimes it's like 20 songs.
Yeah.
He was a creative.
Yeah. So I got enough music on my Pro Tools right now for 2 albums that's unreleased. So whether I put out that many albums, I'm not
Okay, Pro
sure.
Tools.
But if I put out that many songs, it is what it is. It's just all about the timing and the vibes and everything that's going on. But I'm never gonna stop creating. Even if I'm just jotting things down in my head and putting the music to it, the public may not hear everything, but I'm always creating, always.
Is rapping your main career, or do you do anything else on the side? Or have like any
Yeah,
other business ventures?
yeah. Right now, I'm running a business in St. Louis. It's an appliance repair business that I started a few years back, and
An appliance repair?
yep, appliance repair.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do you repair it yourself, or do you have like a team?
Yeah, so I do a lot of repairs myself.
That's cool. What is like the biggest thing that you've repaired, or the hardest thing you've repaired?
Uh, Probably putting the motor in the dryer.
And a dryer?
Yeah, putting a new motor in the dryer.
I didn't even I didn't even know. I didn't even know they have motors and dryers. I don't know. I've never paid attention to that. That's crazy. Okay, that's cool. Do you have any other things on the side that you do? I think it's always good to have, like, I feel like our generation is like the generation that's, right now is like a side hustle generation. Like everyone has all these side hustles.
You gotta, I don't think nobody is one-dimensional. I mean, some people may live their life one-dimensional, but nobody's one-dimensional. Like, you could do a lot of, and I
I
feel
feel like
like
to be one-dimensional is kind of like dehumanizing.
yeah, you're not really expressing yourself enough. And so I like to look at things and solve the problem, whether it's with my hands, whether it's visually, whether it's a song I'm listening to, and I'm like, these the kind of lyrics that need to go on that type of beat. Like, I like to break things down and put it back together in a new way. So
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
That's cool. My brother's a Cancer. He has like that same like mentality, or like he goes through that same process. He's like a math guy, and he'll like have like equations all over his room. It's crazy. Yeah, I'm into astrology. And then my last question for you today is, what does true urban culture mean to you? Like, when you see the name of our magazine, like, how does that resonate with you?
I think it represents truth. I think it represents being who you're supposed to be, representing who you really are. The name True Urban Culture just stood out to me in a way that sometimes our culture can be mismanaged and misappropriated. And so to represent true urban culture means to represent who we are at our roots, who we are as individuals, and who we are as a collective. And no one part is greater than the other, because it all makes up the urban culture. So that's what it means to me.
That's really powerful. Okay, bars. He said I'm a rapper. I'm a writer. Is there anything else you want to tell us today before we end it? And your fans or anyone that could be a new fan?
Yeah, so first I want to say I appreciate y'all for having me today. To all the people out there listening and viewing, I want to appreciate y'all. Go check out the music if you haven't already. Leave me a comment on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. I comment back. Let me know how you feeling, what you thinking. I love that kind of feedback because I like when my fans, kind of be a part of the process. You know what I mean? If you think it's a beat that I need to kill on Freestyle Friday segment, shoot it to me. Just get at me. You can follow me on Instagram. Y'all gonna have all my Twitters and stuff listed, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I can
Yeah,
have you. It's in. I have your link tree. So
okay, yeah. So hit me up on the link tree and comment on the YouTube, Instagram, wherever. And if you out there and you need advice, hit me up as well. So it's all love with me. Like it is what it is. Like I just love rocking with the people. So
I love that. I love that interactive. So this is True Urban Culture, and today we were with Alcam, and now it's gonna be a wrap.